Diddy's world has come crashing down in a way no one imagined. Once hailed as a powerhouse in the entertainment industry, he's now languishing in a harsh federal detention center, having dropped weight and seemingly lost all the glamour he once flaunted. Jail life is as far from his lavish lifestyle as it gets, and the changes are sending shockwaves through his inner circle. Reports indicate his mental state is deteriorating behind bars, and family members who once basked in his fame are now keeping their distance. Whatever might be lurking in his past is clawing its way to the surface, leaving many to wonder, is this just the beginning of an even darker tale? For anyone who followed Diddy's career, the transformation is surreal. He's no longer spotted in designer suits or dropping by lavish parties. Instead, he appears in the standard-issue khaki jumpsuit reserved for federal detainees. His physical appearance is telling. Sources describe him as visibly thinner, exhausted, even grayer than before. Life at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, is notoriously harsh, riddled with violence and minimal creature comforts. The man who once reveled in VIP treatment is suddenly subjected to regulations that keep him in a cramped cell for most of the day. It's a jarring plunge from private jets and red carpets to prison corridors and constant surveillance. What's more, his repeated pleas for bail have fallen on deaf ears. Judges point to the weight of evidence, the potential risk of witness intimidation, and a growing list of lawsuits that accuse him of crimes far more troubling than most ever guessed. This reality could keep him behind bars until his trial date, whenever that may be. Diddy's family members used to be all in when it came to court appearances, standing by him in the public eye. Yet recently, those numbers have dwindled. Some of his children showed up to his hearings only once or twice, then seemed to disappear. Insiders say a few relatives have quietly cut ties, hoping to avoid the unfolding scandal. Then there's the deeply unsettling gossip, whispers of sexual improprieties within Diddy's own household, fueled by claims that he crossed boundaries most would find unthinkable. While these rumors remain unproven, the mere fact they've circulated suggests long-standing tension beneath the celebrity facade. Instead of uniting in the face of adversity, the Combs family appears fractured, leaving Diddy with fewer supporters to champion his innocence. One central element in the charges against Diddy is the so-called freak-off parties. He's accused of orchestrating gatherings where underage girls, prostitutes, and even unwitting guests were allegedly coerced into disturbing situations. Multiple lawsuits reference these events, describing explicit acts and claiming Diddy sometimes recorded the encounters. The allegations go even further. Some say he forced others to participate while he watched or filmed, pushing them into humiliating scenarios under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Former associates like music producer Lil Rod are filing suits and attaching Diddy's name, along with Justin and Christian Combs, to a range of shocking accusations. The stories detail underage visitors, hush money, and a hidden empire built on exploitation. Diddy's legal team, however, insists the so-called freak-offs were consensual adult activities, painting the lawsuits as a smear campaign. Whether courts side with that viewpoint or accept the claims that Diddy and his entourage took advantage of minors remains to be seen. The two sons receiving the most scrutiny are Justin and Christian Combs. Both allegedly participated in their father's disturbing activities. Justin stands accused of scouting underage individuals to attend these parties and of serving a key role in a wider RICO enterprise, if you believe the plaintiff's claims. Christian also faces accusations of sexual misconduct involving a woman who says she was drugged on a yacht party, with Diddy reportedly in attendance. What's troubling is how these lawsuits suggest Diddy's children followed in his footsteps. Some say he groomed them for a questionable lifestyle. Both are named in separate legal documents that could expose them to criminal liability. If investigators find enough evidence to support these claims, it's away from the lawsuits. Industry insiders have long questioned Diddy's behavior around his own mother and adopted son Quincy. Old footage shows him joking about a strip club based on his mother's image, kissing her on the lips, and making overtly suggestive comments. Observers label this as crossing a line, one that speaks to a pattern of boundary blurring within his household. Then there's Quincy, the biological son of Al B. Shearer and Diddy's late partner Kim Porter. Diddy adopted Quincy at a young age, but rumors suggest that relationship wasn't as paternal as fans assumed. One former collaborator, Freddie P., implied something unnerving was going on, hinting at grooming or deeper secrets Quincy dare not reveal. Whether or not these speculations are true, they add to the swirl of controversy that further erodes public confidence in Diddy's image. If the family drama and lawsuits weren't enough, Diddy now endures what many call one of the worst federal facilities in the country. MDC Brooklyn is notorious for its deteriorating conditions. Reports of freezing cells, limited medical care, rampant violence, and inattentive guards. Because of his celebrity status, Diddy was initially placed on suicide watch in a special housing unit, restricted from the general population. But over time, he's had to mingle more with other inmates, some of whom might see him as either a potential target or a resource. Sources claim he's broken down multiple times, crying and begging to be released, even requesting hospital evaluations that the facility reportedly denied. For someone once regarded as unstoppable, the psychological toll is immense. He's used meditation techniques to calm himself, but close friends suggest the stress is overwhelming. With legal trouble stacking up and life in a cramped cell threatening his sense of safety, it's no wonder rumors circulate that he might harm himself or strike a desperate deal to avoid a long sentence. Diddy's legal team has tried nearly everything to secure his release before trial. They offered up his multi-million-dollar Miami home and private jets as collateral. They promised to restrict his contact with women outside his immediate family if that appeased the court's concerns about witness tampering. Yet each time, judges have remained unmoved, pointing to the severity of his alleged crimes and the possibility that he might pressure or intimidate witnesses. As if that weren't enough, more evidence continues to surface, tapes that lawyers call freak-off videos. Diddy's defense insists they show only consensual encounters between adults, not trafficking or abuse. Still, prosecutors argue that context matters, and that these tapes could prove patterns of coercion. The back and forth intensifies with each new filing, making it look less and less likely that a judge will grant Diddy any reprieve. The earliest he could see a trial may be next year or later, meaning his incarceration stretches on indefinitely. At every turn, Diddy's once celebrated image unravels a bit more. The disintegration of family unity, the flood of lawsuits, and the unnerving glimpse into his private life paint a picture of a man bearing the weight of years of buried secrets. Whether he emerges from this ordeal unscathed or meets a fate more dire remains a mystery. With new revelations arising almost weekly, the question on everyone's mind is, have we finally seen the full extent of Diddy's hidden world, or is there more to uncover? Only time and the courts will tell how this story ultimately ends. But one thing is certain, the magnitude of these allegations has permanently shifted the legacy of a once untouchable music mogul.